How's it going, everyone? We are here to talk about some DraftKings quarterbacks for week 11. Is that what we're going to actually talk about? I'm not sure. But that is what's on the docket, what's on my schedule that I don't ever write. And we're ready to go, aren't we?
You've used the word docket twice in the last 15 minutes. And I think do you have one of those word of the day calendars? Like that
I,
you peel apart and like today's
my,
was docket?
those fly traps, like the sticky fly traps they put in like barns and stuff.
No.
Oh, well, there's like these fly traps. It's like a sticky piece of paper, and they put them up in the barns where there's lots of bugs, and it catches them. That's how my brain works. Like when I hear a word, I just catch it, and then I use it, and it's just laying there dead, and I don't actually know what it means, but like I'm using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean you had to Google what capicola was 2 seconds
Yeah,
before we went on air,
yeah.
which is a ham for those who don't know.
We have a special food edition of the DraftKings quarterbacks this week. I'm pretty excited. Are you excited, Jason?
Yeah, we got a couple capicola cash game quarterbacks.
All right. So the rules of the game are we'll talk about your cash game quarterbacks, but as we go through these, you have to say what food these quarterbacks compare to. So I need a cross. So, like, Andrew Luck is your first cash game quarterback. I need Andrew Luck. What type of food would he be? Give us a food group, essentially, and then narrow it down from there.
Okay, I think I mean, can I just stick with meats? Can we just do it in a label of meats?
Okay. Okay.
Andrew Luck for me, prime rib of quarterbacks this week. Delicious,
Mm.
smoked. I mean, you can't go wrong with prime rib. And if you get yourself an end, that's the best part. So,
Hmm.
looking at Andrew Luck, third highest total on the main slate for the Colts home matchup here. He's averaging 25 DK points at home this season. Lots of correlation in this game. We'll talk more about Mariota in a minute, but there's a lot of different ways I'm going to be looking to get exposure to this game. Tennessee is allowing 20.3 DK points to opposing QBs this year. 65% of Indy's touchdowns come through the air. So as long as Frank Gore doesn't vulture 3 touchdowns, Luck should be pretty safe this week. And with the 4 touchdown total, I imagine that he's going to be 300 yards, 2 touchdowns as a minimum. And we've seen Tennessee kind of get exposed over the last few weeks, finally playing some good quarterbacks. We saw it when he played Andrew Luck, or when they played Andrew Luck a few games ago. So 7,200, yes, it's a little bit of a pay up option. I like him quite a bit this week.
Prime rib, good example, because he is expensive. But it tastes so good. Some weeks it's worth it. And here we go. We got a good cook in the back there today. Marcus Mariota, 6,700 against the Colts in that same game. What are you looking at there?
Pulled pork. I mean, Marcus Mariota's a pulled pork. I I've had pulled pork the last 3 days, and you can't get away from pulled pork right now. It's just too damn delicious. I mean,
Mm.
he's been so good, and you're looking at the correlation in this game. You look at the possible pairing with the Delaney Walker, but I mean, he's been so consistent. I mean, now that the price has taken a big jump, I think it was I don't know, maybe 1,900 more than he was last week. But he's earned it. I mean, over 25 DK points in 4 of the last 6 games, 6 straight games with 2 or more touchdowns. Indy's obviously a great matchup for him, near a 30% DVOA against the pass, allowing 11.3 yards per completion, fifth most DK points per game. So I just think in terms of upside and a floor, I mean, he's going to give it to you. 500 less than Luck. Obviously, there's not much of a huge difference, but if you just have a personal preference, I think, Mariota is also a safe play this week.
All right. This should be a fun one. I have a non-meat comparison for this one, but we'll see what you have to say first. Blake Bortles against the Lions, 5,400. What do you got for me?
He's the baloney of quarterbacks. I mean,
Oh.
it's either good. We're either going to get good like deli bologna, or we're going to get that Oscar Mayer packaged bologna that you got to peel apart. And like if you threw a piece of bologna, it would stick on the wall. Like that's Oscar Mayer. That's
Mm,
what Blake Bortles is. I mean, you
mm,
just never know what you're going to get. It can be good sometimes, or it can just be horrible, and you throw the rest of that sandwich in the trash.
mm.
And that's
That's
Bortles.
true. I like
But
it.
the matchup's juicy. Wait, hold on. What
I
was
was
your
gonna
pick?
say a banana because before you open the banana, it tastes really bad. You open the banana, it's good for, probably 45 minutes, which we'll say is 2015. And then, if it's out any longer than that, it's just awful again. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a right
And it's
Bortles this
cheap.
week.
Huh?
Yeah. Hopefully we get a right Bortles this week. It's cheap too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it? They're like 69 cents a bundle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about what that's right for Bortles. But Detroit, great matchup. Obviously, this is all matchup driven at this point. I mean, near 40% DVOA against the pass. Allowing 23 DK points to quarterbacks, second most, allowing the most completions per game. Jacksonville, 84% of their touchdowns come through the air this season. So obviously we know where it's going to be coming from. Great matchup here. Obviously, it's a good one to kind of pair with Allen Robinson, Julius Thomas, Marquise Lee. So you got a lot of different options you can go with. 7 touchdowns over the last 3 games. So there is a little bit of hope in our eyes as we head into this week for Bortles, but 5,400, you got to at least take a shot.
A glimmer. A
Glimmer
glimmer of hope.
Yeah, glimmer of hope.
Yeah, that's what I hear on TV sometimes. So
Yeah,
it's got to be true. Tyrod Taylor. Oh boy, be careful.
this one's tough, man. But I'm gonna go with some grilled chicken. It's not everyone's most noticeable dish at the restaurant, but it's good. It's good. I mean, you like the ribs, you like the steaks, you like the prime ribs, but smoked chicken's there. It's good. And that's what Tyrod Taylor is. He's going to be a low-owned dinner plate to this week, going up against the Bengals, 5,600. Obviously, the Bengals defense really hasn't been that great. I mean, Tyrod Taylor has been actually pretty solid of late. Obviously, you can't rely on rushing touchdowns, but he does have a rushing touchdown each of the last 3 games, above 20 DK points in 3 of the last 4 games. You're going to get him at my guess would be sub 5 ownership. In Cincinnati, I mean, allowing the 4th most DK points to quarterbacks this year. So I think Taylor's a sneaky one. I mean, a 3 touchdown total for the Bills is certainly not great, but it's noticeable. I think it's going to fly under the radar. So I kind of like a correlation play of like using just a naked Tyrod Taylor, but also using like AJ Green, Tyler Eifert, and kind of going that route. Could be kind of a contrarian way to go. I like it in the early only contest if you're playing those.
I like that call. Just generally speaking, for a second, you were talking to me before the show how Bengals secondary, hasn't been that good.
No, it hasn't. And I mean, the Bills aren't a team that turns the ball over a lot. They haven't allowed a ton of sacks either. So, I mean, obviously there's no real weapons for Taylor, which is why he's a GPP play. You got to hope guys like Robert Woods go off, Charles Clay. I mean, it's not pretty around him, but I like Taylor.
And I guess as one more value option, you're looking at Kirk Cousins against the Packers. Should be a high scoring game, I think.
I think so. I mean, there's also a lot of correlation in this one. I like Aaron Rodgers this week. He's been consistent as well. I mean, he's been kind of the chalk, pay up option for my articles the last few weeks. I think Kirk Cousins is fairly safe. I mean, 2 touchdowns in each of the last 4 games. We obviously look at last week. I mean, Tennessee, the Delaney Walker Mariota combination, hit it for pretty big, and that could be the case this week. With Cousins and Reed, as long as Vernon Davis doesn't sneak in and get a touchdown. But outside of that, I mean, I still think I like Jamison Crowder. I like Pierre Garçon against this banged up secondary that's been really bad on the road. I mean, the home road splits for this defense has really been there this year. So I think Cousins is fairly safe at 5,800, probably a little safer than guys like Bortles or Taylor. So if you want a cheap guy for cash, I don't mind it. What do we got for food though? I mean, meats. I got to think here, man. It's tough.
He's the basic bargain brand turkey that you get at the deli.
He's a rotisserie chicken.
No,
rotisserie chicken that sits under the little heat lamps in the grocery store.
You know how you can choose between like honey roasted turkey or like regular turkey, and he's like the plain turkey. That's like, and it's sat in your kitchen for a week. And like, you're like, hey, is that still good? And then you try it and it's like, okay. And you're like, well, okay, this was an okay meal. Yeah.
I'm not going to accept that, Russ. He's better than that.
No,
he's outside of the shelf.
No.
He's the rotisserie chicken. It's quick. You pick it up. You get what you need done for that night. And that's Kirk Cousins. You like that? Do you like that?
Oh, oh, he snuck in the
I
Kirk
got it.
Cousins theme song. I like it.
Slogan.
Uh, no theme song.
Take
Um,
us away, Ron. Carry out the show.
is there any other thoughts you want to throw out there before we head out?
I mean, a couple of guys I didn't mention. I like Matthew Stafford as a GPP play this week. I like Russell Wilson as well. If you're a believer that the Steelers are going to put up 40 against Cleveland, I think Big Ben's also in play. So a lot of different ways you can go. I think pretty much these are the main ones that I'll be focusing in on. But there's definitely a couple of guys that caught my eye.
Certainly. If you like what we're doing here, certainly give us a like and subscribe on the videos. If you want to check out this article, head over to dailyfantasycafe.com to check that out and read it and, maybe X out, the tab and go for a long walk instead and get outside and not be such a lazy person like Russ. You're better than that. You're better than this guy with the goofy hair and the gross shirt and the Cincy State. But, yeah, no, you can do better than this, guys. Come on, get outside. As Barack Obama would say, get outside and exercise.
I think that was Michelle Obama, but
Oh, anyhow, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in week 12 and hopefully week 13.